morning, everybody. Welcome into the one and only AM show. Happy Friday once again. Now, you guys, we tease this flat out fantastic, beautiful, talented guest at the top of the show. And guess what? We live up to our promises, honey, because live in person, I want y'all to stand to your feet if you're not already standing and show some AM love to our first guest for today in the person of Stephanie Burchell. Hey girl, hey. Hi. I am so excited to have Stephanie on the show. You guys, before I introduce her formally, we gotta get into this fit. Yeah, I sure did say that. Wait, Steph, open up your jacket a little bit.
Oh, just a little.
Do y'all see? Come on, let's do it. Just like we got Freddie's fit. Do y'all see? Show them the nails, girl.
Oh, the nails?
Yeah, we gotta see the nails.
Freshly done, freshly done.
Each nail is different.
Yes, each nail is different, exactly. Each nail has like a mood board, a reference, like it's very particular, calculated.
Oh, yes. I see, girl. I love it. Wait, can we get some shoe cams?
Yeah,
let's get into the shoes, you guys. She is a fashionista, so I'm super stoked to just take a deep dive into everything that you do. I know that you have a Paris trip for Fashion Week coming up in about 2 or 3 days. So you know that we're going to take a deep dive into that, you guys. But I know that we must follow protocol. So let's introduce my good friend, Stephanie Burchell, accordingly. Stephanie Burchell is a 24-year-old native New Yorker, born and raised. She currently freelances in the fashion industry within various fields, but specifically and not limited to the following. Here we go. Talent management, casting, VIP/events, and influencer marketing. Although Stephanie specializes in these, her background comes from agency and in-house public relations. She has held long-term roles at reputable organizations such as Calvin Klein, High Snobbery. Did I say that correctly?
Yes.
Okay, there it is. Carla Otto, Accent Projects, etc., and has worked on special projects with bands such as Burberry, Adidas, Nike, Gap, and so many others. Some of Stephanie's personal favorite brands that she resonates with would be YSL, oh, I love that, Mugler, and Prada, just to name a few. She is based in Brooklyn, but New York City and Paris are her favorite cities to work and visit. She has been to Paris a few times a year because, of course, Fashion Week, but has also, get this, you guys, lived there when she was a student and plans to live there again in the future. She loves to connect with people within her community and is able to create exciting and groundbreaking moments with brands and talent that align. Once again, AM family, show your love for my girl, Stephanie Burchell. Y'all better come on. Y'all better be on board with those applause.
Thank you so much.
Absolutely.
I'm ready for the TED Talk.
Absolutely.
It's coming soon.
Oh, it's coming, honey. So I'm just super excited. So, Steph, let's just dive right into the meat of this sandwich. I want to know, fun fact, everybody, before we get into the meat of the sandwich, Stephanie and I went to the same high school.
Yes, we literally connected at Career Day like 2 months ago.
Absolutely. Yes. Valley Stream Central High School. Shout out to VSHS in Valley Stream, Long Island. You graduated. Sorry?
What's the mascot? Valley Stream.
I don't know. I was in theater.
Eagles, yes.
Oh, it is that eagle, that blue and gold eagle. You're right.
Eagle.
I was in theater. Okay. What year did you graduate?
2017.
See, Steph was 2017. I was 2011. I'm telling my age, honey. I was 2011. I was 2011. Thank you. So do you. So let's get into this fabulousness. How did you get into the fashion industry? What age were you, Steph? When did you know, wait a minute, this is what I want to do?
Well, honestly, I have a degree first in business. I went to Fordham, I went to Gabelli. I was first studying finance, and I was going through that, and I honestly realized, like, this is not what I love to do. Like, it's really just gonna be going through the motions. So I decided, like, I wanna chase my dreams, like really dive into like what I'm passionate about. So that's why I leaned into fashion. And then in college, I kind of started interning at multiple brands like Jonathan Simkai, Baji Mishka, just started diving into like all these different internships from like sales to design teams. Like, honestly, I was working for free so much. I had a part-time job, 6 classes. Like, I really was just trying to get as much knowledge as possible because I wasn't really experienced in the industry or had any idea what I was doing. But honestly, how I got into fashion, I feel like from a very young age, I feel like I saw my mom going to work. She went to work in the city. She was always dressing like Sex in the City, watching Desperate Housewives. So I feel like I saw her like dressing up, and I was always playing dress up in her closet. So I just started being into fashion from a very young age, and I didn't realize how much I loved it. So then once I was trying to figure out what I want to do with my life, I was like, you know what, now I'm going to do something that like I really love to do.
I want to, you said something interesting, like you changed in college. You started finance, but you went into fashion. So when I was in college, I went from computer science to mass comm, and I had this reckoning to where, like, so I want to get into like, what is that reckoning? Because there's a lot of people probably watching, they started in college doing this, and you feel like, I got to do this because this is why I'm here. Like, what is that reckoning? What did you go through internally?
I mean, I feel like I just had pressure to do like what's right and follow like a very like on paper what is a right path, and like I wanted to make my parents proud, everyone around me proud. So it was like I was in this whole business career. I wanted to go to this business school, go into finance, like work on Wall Street, like make a lot of money, you know, that's really like what I was thinking, like make a lot of money, whatever. But then I'm seeing so many people be unhappy. You have to like have this career and you have to do this every day, and like why don't we focus on like choose what you want to do for the rest of your life based on like what you love to do. So you could really put like your heart and your soul in it. So in college, I was literally studying finance for like over a year, but then I decided, I'm like, I can't do this. Like it just, I don't fit in right. It's like not for me. Like why would I put myself somewhere that I don't belong or like feel right in? So that's why I was like, no, I'm gonna switch this whole thing up. I went like more into marketing. I minored in fashion studies. And everything like kind of skyrocketed from there. Like I just like snowball effect from there, and it was like the best decision I could have ever made. Like that's what I give advice to everyone. Like choose what you want to do, like based on what you like to do. Like really figure that out first. Like figure out what you like to do, and like then you will figure out your life and the rest of it.
Oh my God, I love that. You better preach. Let everybody say amen.
Where the offering plate at?
I'm telling you, got it, because you be stealing the offering. Well, I saw you. I saw you. You got it. You be stealing it.
I gotta buy the shoes. I gotta buy the
Deacon Freddie. Let me tell you, I absolutely concur with Freddie, and this is one of the reasons, one of the many beautiful reasons why I wanted to have you on the show. Because Steph, I love that your story is one that sort of goes against the grain. I think that culturally, so many of us, we feel pressured to follow in.
Exactly. We do. And like, I'm first generation born over here. Like, I wanted to make my parents proud. You know, the classic, like, you should be a doctor, a lawyer, like go into business. And that's what we all want to do. And that seems like the safest option. And like, out of college, like I'm not gonna lie, like I was making like $30,000 a year, $36,000 a year. Like it was a really slow start, like in the industry. Like you're making basically nothing. But you really like, I've had in my gut that like, no, I love this and I want to do this, and like I'm gonna figure it out.
And I just think that that's that hustle mentality that I respect so much. And I oftentimes say, this is another reason why I love your story. I always say, I'm not going to tell my big-minded vision to a small-minded individual.
I'm
not, because I know that you might not always understand it, and you know what? I'm not going to use my energy to try to convince you.
That's why we're always here. We're always here.
No, you know we get it. No, we don't care if you don't understand it. It's not for you to understand. It's for us to understand and to execute. So that thing can serve as an agent of change. So with that being said, because internships are very important, how did you get those internships? That's a hustle and a grind. That's, I know, bachelor's degree interning for the Supreme Court, the United States Supreme Court. Those things can sometimes be hard to get. So what places did you intern again? Just remind our audiences, and how did you get those relationships?
Honestly, my first internship, it was from me just like scouring Instagram or like literally Googling like fashion internships, and I found like websites and like smaller. I knew I was just starting, so I wasn't gonna go apply to like, you know, big houses like Louis Vuitton, Burberry internships. Like, I feel like obviously everyone wants to be there, like we dream to be at these brands, but I kind of took it as more like, let me work my way up the ladder instead of like trying to like throw myself in the deep end first. So I could like really gain knowledge as I go. So when I started, I was just looking for very small brands, low budget, like startup kind of things. So that's what I was applying to at first. So I was literally just cold applying to things that I was like Googling like fashion internships or like websites or Instagram. So the first thing I got was an internship that I got paid $300 a month, and I was working 4 days a week in the city, commuting from Valley Stream, taking the LIRR, subway, like all of.
Real quick, Valley Stream for people who not from New York.
Yes.
Kind of color that in, like what it means to commute from. Because I know.
Yeah.
Color that in, like what it's like commuting from Valley Stream to Manhattan.
Yeah, let me color that in. So basically, from Valley Stream, like you have to leave from your house. So like you have to get a ride to the train station, then get on the LIRR, and then from the LIRR you get into Penn Station, and then from Penn Station you got to take the train downtown, the subway. So it is a few steps when you think about it. Like we really normalize it, and I don't think about it, but it is a few steps.
It is.
So I had to do that like 4 days a week in the summer. Yeah. So I did that, and then from there, like I kept. Every internship I went to, I kept in contact with those people. The managers, the assistants, everyone, because every job, or most of the jobs I got after that, it's like, hey, I need help. Like, hey, what are you looking for? Or like, hey, can we grab lunch? Or like, we've worked together, they know I've worked together, and you always do well wherever you go. So like, you keep those connections, you never know. Like, I sometimes get contacted from people I worked with 2-3 years ago. You know, you always keep those connections rolling. Always, always, always.
And that's what I preach, keeping your healthy relationships. Like, that's why, let me tell you something, you better be just as nice to the janitor as you are to the CEO. You don't, because you don't know where he or she is going to be in 2 months. Don't you dare look down on them or be condescending or dismiss them. You could be broke next year. You don't know where you're going to be. And then that girl that you was looking at like that, you could be walking into an interview and she could be the boss. You got to be careful. You got to be careful with how you talk to people and how you treat people. You never know who has your next blessing. So I love that. I love that. And speaking of next blessings, I want you to just really, really color what it was like working with some of these reputable brands. Let's start with Nike, girl. I saw Nike on there. I saw Gap. I saw Burberry. Just shade that in for us. What did you do and how was that?
I mean, I've been working with a lot of brands throughout the years because I feel like, honestly, in fashion, going into PR, just another good piece of advice. I feel like everyone going into fashion, like getting agency training is so important, and I feel like not talked about enough. So I started in multiple internships, but like my main big internship I feel like was at Carla Otto. And that is like one of the biggest like fashion PR agencies, and they have multiple just like hubs in like the fashion cities of the world. So working there, being like a small fish in a big pond, you really get to see how things work and like operate. And there I got my first taste of like working with brands like Heron Preston, Off-White, like Reese Cooper. So that's where I was working with a lot of those big brands at first. And it's like when you make yourself known there and you're able to do things there, that's how people would like take you along. So working there, that really like set up my foundation. But then after that, working with brands like Nike, I mean, they're great. I've got to work with them in so many different like scopes, from like working with them from like Accent PR, like we do like special events with them. So I work with Nike with like special events. Or when I was at High Snob, we do like brand deals with Nike. So I'm like signing like contracts and like deals for them. So it's like kind of cool like working with them from like multiple angles. But I think always the best part about working with these brands is honestly just like meeting the people there and like connecting with those people. And I love like, oh, like my friend, like connecting you with this brand, or I could connect you with this brand, or like you'd be a really good fit there. Like I just love piecing and like putting people together. I feel like that's my favorite part of this whole thing, like being kind of just like, I love connecting people, love like interchanging things. So I love that.
So I'm hearing you connect people. So I saw where you do a lot of influencer marketing. You in that world, and it looks like that is where you are able to really succeed into that. So talk a little bit about influencer marketing, because I just watched a video on Abercrombie and Fitch. They used to be real big in the 90s and they fell off, but that's how they came back. Influencer marketing and taking advantage of that, and it's so powerful now.
It is. It honestly wasn't an industry 10 years ago. It's honestly fairly brand new. I really got into influencer marketing when I was at Calvin Klein. I was there for about 1.5 years on the influence team. So being there and working there on the influence team, it was kind of like a wide just like range, because they are one of like those global brands. It's like you're working with people that are on the billboards and like doing all that kind of thing. So that was my first dive into influencer marketing. And then I realized that like there's so many of my friends that are doing this, and I feel like they were getting like taken advantage of, or like just not doing things as like properly as they should have been. So I was like, no, like I want to get into this, and like I want to help my friends, and like they're all so talented, and like I really felt like there was a niche in that market. So then I've started getting into influencer marketing, and like working with brands and creating with influencers has been so great and like fulfilling, and like I love seeing people create content that they love to do too, or like working on projects that they're fulfilled with.
Oh, I love that. So what's like the recipe, Steph, of success for a social media fashion influencer? Yeah. Like I want to know, like, what do you think about like the pendulum, the dynamic that social media has had on visibility, on fashion? Like, do you think we're going in the right direction? Do you think it's super lucrative? What do you think about that?
I mean, there's so many things going on in the fashion industry, obviously, with like social media, and working from like PR to social media. It's very interesting because I was also in the industry a few years ago when like social media wasn't as prevalent, and like the fashion weeks and all these things, like they were still going on before social media, because at the end of the day, fashion week is like for these brands, for the PR, they need to sell and they need to market their things. So like that's what it was before influencers were involved. But now I think it's so exciting that people have a taste that like I can get there too, or like I feel like my favorite influencers are the people that are themselves. Like they're truly themselves, and they're not copying people that they see online. Like I feel like there's a lot of people, it's like I see like 100 of them online. You know, like those are the type of influencers, and I don't like how social media, we turn into like copycats. I feel like use social media to show who you are. And honestly, some of my favorite influencers are some of my best friends and some of my clients too. Like one of my best friends, Chloe, one of my talent that I manage, Ciara, she's a stylist and content creator, but like they are so true to themselves, and I love their content because it's unique and it's so them, and it's so nice to see, like even if it's not something I would wear or do, like they're true to themselves, and that inspires me, you know, and inspires me to do other things.
Oh, I love that. Like I don't know, that just got me. Even if it's not, even if it's something that I wouldn't wear, it's still attractive because you're being who you really are.
Exactly.
And that authenticity reads well with your supporters. I love that. Oh my goodness. Okay, you guys, we do have to take a quick commercial break, but Stephanie, I can talk to you all
I feel it, like can we go forever?
Like, what,
please?
Girl?
Come on.
Talk to our girl all day. You guys, we have part 2 with Stephanie Burchell. She isn't going anywhere. We're going to talk about her Paris trip, girl. We're going to talk about some of the talent that she manages and so much more. So I'm super excited. Stay tuned, everybody, because we will be right back after these messages. Woo!
Guys, welcome back to the AM show. We have our special guest here, Miss Stephanie Burchell. She just tore it up, getting out the gate. You know, we're having a great conversation. And, you know, when we left, we were talking about the influencer marketing world and how it's just taking over everything. And now it's the new wave. And you were kind of talking about some of the people you manage, so on and so forth. So, like, what would you say is the approach to what you particularly do? You know what I mean? Like, if somebody wants to manage it, because you can either become a social media manager, a social media influencer, or you can manage people who do social media, and they kind of are close. But what's that approach to both sides?
Interesting.
Yeah, so basically in terms of like management, I'm like talent managing and casting. Like it's those two things. So like I cast for like brands or like campaigns or like things like that, and I help like manage talent too. So one thing I love about doing that is that I feel like a lot of times brands too, we see a lot of the same type of people in like these campaigns. So being able to like be in casting and be behind the scenes and like kind of infiltrate that system and be able to like suggest talent that like I resonate with, and I know that people like around me and then like look like me and like look like us will resonate with too, I feel like has been so important. And I've seen that like real in front of me, like from friends I've casted to talent that I like, that I've been a fan of, that I've casted and things like that. But when I look at who I work with and the talent I manage, it's like I want them to be unique and like passionate about what they do. So basically one of the first girls that I've started to manage is Sierra Reina. She's a stylist. Yes, she's so talented. We met in Paris in like the fall. We met in Paris really, and we started hanging out and we got really close. But she is 22, an amazing stylist and content creator. But basically how she blew up is that she really got into like styling and like content creation videos, or just like get ready with me videos, and like posting her outfits and like her style, and like people really resonate with her personal style and how she dresses, and it's so unique and really good for her. And then it resonates with so many other people that like, that's how she's been able to get so many styling gigs too, that other people love what she does and they want her to style her too. But it's things like that where it's like you're just being unique to yourself and showing who you are. And then I love working with her because we get to do so many exciting things. We've worked with Adidas, we've worked with SZA, she styled her, Tyla. Yeah, she's been doing amazing things. I'm so proud of her. We're going to Paris again next week, so it's so exciting.
Oh my goodness, wow. Okay, so I was going to ask you, Steph, I'm like, I wonder what you look for, but you just answered that, girl. I wonder what you look for when you cast folks for different brands. So you look for uniqueness, essentially, someone who is authentic to who they are. Are those like the non-negotiables that you look for?
I mean, yeah, and someone that will resonate well with the brand too. Like I want a good match for the brand. Like I want it to be beneficial on both sides. I want the brand to gain something from this, and I want the talent to gain something from this. Like I don't like putting things together just because like, oh, they're famous, they have a lot of followers. Like that doesn't make sense to me. Like things need to be intentional. And even I tell Sierra, like, not every deal that comes to you you want to take too. Like certain brands, like if it doesn't resonate with you, like turn it down. Like you don't need that. You know, like really focus on like what you want to do and how you want to build that.
So what I want to ask is like those relationships, like what is the actual connection? Like do you are you DMing people? Like what does that look like when you actually build it?
Yeah, honestly, it could be anything, honestly. Being in PR, you have to be able to like just be sociable, literally be outside, you know, like from being at all these like parties.
It's
like
true.
I've literally got things from like leaving a party, waiting for my Uber, and I'm talking to like the PR manager of like Jimmy Choo waiting for my Uber, and then we get that connection, you know, that 5 minutes. Sometimes it's literally like being in these little places at these right times, or like in this party in Paris, literally waiting for the bathroom, or I'm in LA, literally like driving somewhere and I get an Uber with someone. Like it's literally those little things. So it's from DMing people to keeping contact through email, through everything. It's keeping connected. Like I feel like I'm always like just multifaceted, just keeping connected through a web.
I love that. And I want to go back to your Paris trip, girl.
Yes.
So tell us where you're going to be in Paris in about 2 or 3 days.
Yeah.
Tell us why and what you'll be doing.
Well, I definitely haven't packed yet, but
you gotta pack, girl. When you gonna pack tonight?
I know, honestly, tonight and tomorrow. That's the plan. That's the plan. And I'm packing. I'm gonna do a lot of shopping over there. That's really what I want to do. Yeah, half full. Exactly.
I love that.
Exactly. Okay. But basically, Paris. It's gonna be Men's Fashion Week and then Couture. Usually, Couture is in July, but they moved it up because of the Olympics. So now we have like 2 fashion weeks back to back. So I'm gonna be out there. One of my brands, Connor McKnight, they have like a showroom, and then another brand, Essential, they have another showroom. And then we have a project with like Nike and Vogue World also. Sierra's gonna be out there. I usually go to her with like a lot of shows or like things like that, and we do content creation. We get a lot of BTS stuff. But I'm really excited, and when I go out there, I meet people a lot. I have a lot of meetings, and then just connecting. People have me working events, like sometimes the morning of, I'll find out like, hey, can you work this event from like 11 to 4 a.m.
Wow.
So that's like the hours, like Fashion Week vibes, like it's crazy.
So tell us about, I want to know like what was that experience being a student there? Because you were a student.
Yes.
So what did that look like?
Honestly, it was my favorite few months as a student, especially a fashion student, because that city is so thriving off of art and culture. So every day after class, like I would go to a museum, I would go to this gallery, we would go to this art show, like, and all of this is mostly free and like open to the public. And there's so much art and culture and knowledge you could just surround yourself in. So I was so inspired going to Paris. And every time I go, I get the most inspired.
Oh, I love that. I love that.
I wonder, so to piggyback off what she just asked, like that first fashion week you went to, and then like now each subsequent fashion week, what is the preparation leading up to it? Like, is there some extra preparation, or is it just natural? You just head out there, you already know what's happening, you get some people up, or are you putting things together?
That's good.
Yeah, honestly, New York, I feel like that's my busiest fashion week. Paris has been getting busier and busier because I've been doing more out there, but Fashion Week, there's always so much preparation going up to it, from like sending out emails, handling invites, managing schedules. But then when I get out there, Paris is more of the, like, it falls together when I'm there, because like it's such like a small city too, that like everything just like falls together. You meet people, okay, what's going on, but like you kind of have an overview. But I feel like New York, it's even crazier because I'm always putting together like shows, events, red carpets, and it's like I'm handling the production, the guest list, the VIP. Like you're just always coordinating so much. So honestly, Fashion Weeks, I'm running on no sleep. Like it's crazy.
Have you ever considered opening up your own boutique?
Like, I mean, it's in the works.
Look at this fit. Now that's selfish to keep that to yourself, huh?
I mean, what, she got a Depop page.
Have you?
Okay, oh wow, you've been looking on my IG. I do have a Depop page.
Right, but like your own like physical store, have you
brick and mortar.
Yeah.
I mean, I honestly don't. Maybe that will be in the cards, but I just honestly don't have the time. I feel like I love being just like behind the process and like doing so much. Like I feel like I don't care.
They're zooming in on your face.
Hi guys. They're zooming on the fitness.
I love it. Go ahead.
Yeah, but I feel like I love being like behind the process and like so part of the process that I obviously like styling my friends and styling people like that, and if people want to like help with styling, whatever, but in terms of like shopping, I feel like it mostly goes to like my mom, my best friends, my cousins. They get all of like my hand-me-downs and things like that. So,
oh my goodness, I love it.
I feel like you're like a World Wide West. You know World Wide West is? Yeah. I feel like you like a person that, or like the Godfather he just passed. They did a documentary of him on Netflix. I feel like that's kind of the like what you want to be, the person like, okay, we go to Stephanie to know.
Like a connector, I like being a connector.
That's that PR in you.
Yeah,
my background is in PR. I know what you mean. That's that public relations.
Yeah, I honestly got that from my parents because I feel like they're the connectors of just like everything, and I've seen that from like young. Like they host all the events. They've honestly done PR for like their whole life. I feel like for just our whole family. Like my dad MCs all these events. My mom like hosts, puts all these things together. So I feel like I've been seeing this whole like PR world. Yeah, I feel like it's literally in me now because I've been seeing that since I've grown up. They've always hosted, and then now I'm literally turning my career out of this.
Right, and speaking of grabbing inspiration from your folks, what do they say about your career now? Because in the beginning, that was difficult. Culturally, I get it too. Yeah. It's just a lawyer, doctor, nurse.
Right. You gonna do what?
Exactly.
What is that?
How much money that make?
Exactly. Is that physical? Is that physical? Is that a real job? So I want to know. I want to know, like now that she's accomplished so much, what does mom and dad say now?
Honestly, guys, if I'm being honest, them watching this is gonna be like the first time they actually know what I do, probably. Or like,
really?
No, I mean just explaining it. They know what I do. They know like I work in brands. They know I'm traveling, but like I feel like they have to like actually be there and see what I'm doing. Like I can never like fully explain it or like put it into words.
How does that feel?
I mean, they're proud of me, and I love making them proud. Like in the beginning, I feel like they really didn't know, or like they weren't sure. They wanted me to be in something more stable and secure, just because like they're my parents. They want me to be okay. But I think like in the past year, especially since I started freelancing, I've really been like taking on some exciting projects and more well-known things. Like probably one of my favorite projects that I just did was I did the Met Gala with Burberry.
Ooh, tell us about that.
Yeah, no, that was super exciting. That was like my favorite thing I've done so far, probably. But that was so like career fulfilling for me too, because I feel like out of everything, even if people don't know about fashion or like certain things, they know what the Met Gala is, and that's also like in the fashion world, it's one of the hardest things to just work or like be a part of. So being able to do that for the first time and like really be like hands-on in that experience and in that process, it was so humbling for me that like I finally got here after so many years.
Ooh, yeah,
and then my parents, and then everyone knows what it is. It's like, oh wow, like she's taking this fashion stuff seriously, you know, like
real.
She's doing it, like she's really like getting into this. So not that they've never taken me seriously, but like they really know that like
growth.
Exactly. They see the growth. They have like been with me and supported me along my whole journey, and I'm like so grateful for them. But working Burberry this past year has just been so exciting because this was also the first time I was working such an event like this with also like friends of mine, and like for example like I was doing Burberry, but then someone from the styling team was like one of my best friends. He was styling stuff. So it was just like having people like in the industry, and we were all coming up together at the same time, and now it's this like huge momentous occasion, and we're all working our first Met Gala together. It was so humbling.
Like the Super Bowl. Y'all was a team.
It was like we made it. Yeah, it is like the Met Gala is the fashion Super Bowl. Like it really is. And
what did you do on your first day? Steph, I know you showed up fly. So when you came in, what did you have to do?
I mean, honestly, it's really crazy like having to, so basically I was working with Burberry for Met Gala, and like they had to fly in their whole team from London and literally makeshift set up an atelier and all these sewing machines. Like they had to set this up in 24 hours.
Wow.
Like these things are happening last minute, they're happening fast, they're happening quick in real time.
They're changing.
They're changing. Like we're designing all the outfits. Like for example, Burberry dress, Naomi Campbell, like her dress, like we were still making it like when people were walking the carpet, like we're finishing it up. Like things are last minute.
Wow.
You know, like it is stressful. Like there were like 18-hour days working Met Gala, like it is around the clock. Yeah, you are nonstop, girl. Celsius, Red Bull, all of that.
Wow.
Yeah, no, it's nonstop.
Is that the hardest part of being in the fashion industry, the grit and the grime of it all?
For me, it's like adrenaline for me. That's what keeps me going. It is definitely hard. I feel like for people, like it could be hard that like, you know, a lot of my friends when I first started, they're like, what do you mean you're not getting paid overtime? Like you're working till 4 a.m. Like what are you talking about? I'm like, it's fashion week. Like it's not gonna get done. Like this has to happen. Like it is what it is. But I feel like it always like kept me going. It's like adrenaline. Like I don't even need coffee. It's like I'll fall asleep and like collapse after, but it's like adrenaline. Like it keeps me going. Like these are like my favorite parts, honestly. That chaos, like those fashion
You like
weeks,
that fuel.
I do. It like fuels me.
I see it. Can't you see it? I'm like, girl,
it's her passion.
I'm like, wait a minute. We don't mean to interrupt you, but we saw that fire.
I just like, I feel like it like fuels me. It keeps me going. Like, and I feel like every fashion week I've been like progressing and like I try to keep like raising the bar every fashion week in terms of like how many things I'm working, what brands I'm working with, the caliber of events I'm doing. So it's been very humbling and exciting too to like see the bar keep getting raised.
Ooh, I love that.
So with everything you just said, that leads me, and we kind of talked about this during the break, and my next question is, I want to hear about your short and long-term goals, 5 years and 25 years. Like where do you see Stephanie? Like 5 years from now, what does Stephanie's life looks like personally and professionally? 25 years from now, where does Stephanie see herself personally and professionally?
Ooh.
Yeah, that's a good
Love
one.
that.
I love that question. Freddie's always with the questions. So basically in 5 years, I feel like within the near future, I will go back to Paris and like live for a little bit, because when I lived there as a student, it was also during COVID. So we had to get sent home early. So I really didn't get to like see that through, and now having like deeper like just talents in like my career, I feel like I could have better roots there, because I've been obviously solidifying roots there and like laying down groundwork there for the past few years. But now in the next like immediate future, I want to go back, live there, really work in my career and not be a student, but be someone like in my career in Paris, because I feel like right now I'm obviously young, single, no kids. Like this is when I need to really like,
so she's young,
you know, live my life, like go to Paris. Hey now.
What did he say?
I don't know. Freddie's trying to make me matchmaker over here.
Freddie is always like commenting like on like relationships and stuff. I noticed that. I'm like,
no, honestly, I'm not even thinking about that. Like it's me. I'm like tunnel vision right now. Like, I mean, honestly, if the Prince of like Saudi Arabia is coming for me, like fine, that's fine. But other than that, like it's tunnel vision, you know.
Well, see, Stephanie, you know, as accomplished as you are and as strong as your hustle is, you're 24. Yeah. And that you know is different. I'm in my 30s. You're 24. That is the time to do it.
Exactly. Like that's the time to do it. Like that's the time, like to just
time to get married.
See the world. Hey,
for me.
I know.
Oh, I'll tell you, for me.
Oh, for you.
For me. I'm in my 30s. That's different. Your body is slower. It's different.
No, still, you're young.
Different.
You're
I am young, but it is different. It is different.
But I think everyone should like see the world and like find your passions. And like I found so much love in Paris and like so much inspiration in Paris. Like I kind of have lost that in New York a little bit right now. So it's like I want to go back to Paris and really like reignite like all of my inspiration and fuel. But that's like, you know, in the 5 years. Yeah. 25. But like 25, honestly, what I want to do long term is basically open like my own like consulting studio where we're like kind of doing everything from like sketch to sales. Like I could help basically brands, talent, people with like campaigns, produce a runway show, like marketing campaign. You need like a red carpet, you need an event, you need me to launch this product, you need me to pitch, like you need me to get this article, you need to get a cover. Like I want to be able to do it all because I feel like now, even these bigger brands, there's not like a common thread through everything. Like there's even at like brands like Louis Vuitton, YSL, they have like in-house PR, out-house PR, they have people doing like the show, they have people doing like gifting, they have people doing the marketing. But like with my experience, I just love like the start to the finish, like the whole 360 process. And I have experience from everything from like sketch to sales to design to production to shows. So I want to just have my hand in all of it and really be able to help people and brands grow full circle.
Is there a company that does that already? Is there anybody that does it?
I mean, I don't know. There's obviously like agencies and consulting agencies, but I feel like a lot of these places have like a niche and like they all have like a specific goal. And I feel like since I have like this business degree first and then this fashion like knowledge and love for it, and then also my business partner, like he has a political science degree and then he's also—
I got my degree in.
Oh, fab. So we really like hit all like the marks of it, and I feel like we want to like be part of like the whole process. So
I love this.
Yeah.
I love that. I love this. I love you. I know you. No, you're fantastic. Seriously. I know that we can't hold you too much longer, but Steph, I definitely want you to give a piece of advice to someone who's looking to break into the fashion industry. What would you tell him or her?
TED Talk time.
Yeah, honestly, I would just tell them to genuinely like be yourself, no matter like how old you are, when you're getting into it. Just like figure out. I feel like from when I started, I kind of saw the finish line. Like saw the finish line, and just in terms of like, I knew like this wasn't something I just wanted to do small. Yeah. You know, I knew this was something that I really want to do, and it takes like a process to get there. So like, whatever your end goal is, whatever like that, just like see your finish line and just know that you're not gonna get there overnight. Like there's steps to get there, and as long as you're just true to yourself along the way and like keep those connections. That's been like my most important thing, like from jobs to everything. Like that's how you get into these doors.
It's true.
It's like there's hundreds of people applying to all these applications. Like you need to be able to text someone at that job, hey, I'm applying, like what's going on with this job? Pull my thing.
Show up
like,
to their event.
Yeah, like show up to those events, like do everything. When I was interning, when I was assisting, I was excited to do drop-ups. I was excited to do coffee. I was excited to be at the door checking people in. You have to be face to face. That's how you meet these people. Like meeting the people at the front desk and being friends with them, that's how you get into those doors.
That's true.
You know, like you are nice and you meet everyone.
Yeah, that's
all
what
the
I was
time.
saying. Keep that relationship and keep your attitude. So tell people where they can find you, honey. Let's provide your Instagram.
Yes, my Instagram at Steph M. Burch. You can find me there. Honestly, I need to work on my website. I gotta get that together.
Yeah, I know you will.
I know, I'll get that together. But yes, you can find me on Instagram right now. That's really where I put all of like my just business endeavors, like on my story, things like that. I'm pretty active on there in terms of like work, not really private life, but work life.
And the B-Day coming up too, so you know.
Oh yeah, you know, 25's coming up in July,
Yes. Okay, so I want to leave our audience with this. This literally takes 10 seconds. So I always do this with some of the guests. It depends on who they are and what they do. And I start off a sentence and I want them to finish it with one word. With one word. So I'm a woman of many words. One word. Okay. I'm gonna start and then I'm going to throw it to you. Are you ready?
Okay, I'm ready.
Fashion is
love. That was just the first thing I thought of.
Yes, I like that. Fashion. Expression means
inspiration.
Relationships are
not right.
Not right.
No. I was just thinking in terms of like love relationships.
Professional relationships are
important.
I like that. My boutique will be open
soon.
Yes! Everybody from the AM show, show your love. Miss Stephanie Burchell here.
Thank you guys
heard it right. Let's put our Instagram up on the CGs, you guys, so you can find her, follow her, support her on her many endeavors. Super proud of you. My girl, honey. Super proud. All right, folks, we're going to head on over to a quick commercial break, but don't you go anywhere because guess what, y'all? We are keeping it hot on this Friday. We have another special guest. Miss Jessica Exantes will be joining us next, and I promise you don't want to miss it. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.